Okay, so today is November 21, 2025, and with this video every day of November, I'm kind of reaching the what is the word? The end stage, whatever. We're almost done. Home stretch. That's the word I'm looking for. So, because I'm kind of running out of things to talk about, whether, if I'm not doing anything, I don't have much to talk about. Today, I'm going to talk about my top rated animes on my anime list. And it's just basically the animes that I've rated 10. I was just watching some Tekken. He was reviewing the latest chapter of One Piece, and so I got inspired. Also, I got my retainers in, so I'm gonna have a little bit of a list. It's not good. All right, let's start off. First one is Steins Gate. I rated this, of course, 10. I started July 5th, 2020, and finished it 2 days later. You know what? If I'm going to be honest, I don't remember too much about Steins Gate. All I remember is that it was just a very good, sort of like psychological anime about time travel, and, it had somewhat of a sad or unfavorable ending, if I remember correctly. But I just remember it being pretty good. That's how it's gonna be with a lot of these animes. Nothing. I'm not gonna remember super specific stuff because a lot of these I watched like 4 or 5 years ago. So I'll give them my best shot to try and remember them. And there might be some spoilers, so just a heads up. So that's it with Steins Gate. I really, honestly don't remember too much of it. I do have the Steins Gate game on Steam. It's like a visual novel, and I'll be playing that once I'm done with Ace Attorney, whenever that is, because I don't know how many games there are in the trilogy. I'm pretty sure there's quite a few, or chapters there are in the trilogy, so I'm going to work through them, and then once I'm done with this one, I'll switch over to Steins Gate. Alright, next one, my teen romantic comedy snafu. Basically, this one is Oregaru, I believe. And is it? I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, Oregairu. I remember this one because I've rewatched it several times. The first season, in my opinion, it sets the characters, but like the animation and the art is, you can visually tell there's a difference between season 1 and then season 2 and season 3. And I think the first season sets it up really nicely, but the next 2 seasons are where the plot sort of develops, and then it starts to get more involved and everything, and Alright, next one is Love Live, the school idol project. The original ones, not the Sunshine or whatever it is. The original one is just, in my opinion, is perfect, right? You have this, I think it's, I'm trying to remember, I think it's 9 girls, because it's 3 of each grade. So you have 3 first years, 3 second years, and then 3 third years. And I will never be able to remember all of their names, but I'm gonna give it a try. I mean, I know Maki is first year 1. the three second years are the original ones who they built off of. So, shoot, Honoka, starts with a K maybe, Koromi, and then the I believe she has like purple or blue hair, like maybe starts with an M, and then the three third years are the Nico, Nozomi, and the blonde girl, Ellie or something. Who were the first years? The one like short-haired orange girl, and then the one that has like the cat face. So I mean I can see them in my head. I'm not looking at anything. I wasn't looking at anything, but I can see them in my head. I can visually remember what they look like, but I don't know their names. So, about this though, like, in my opinion, it's a really good first of all, idol anime, because there's a ton of idol animes, but I think this one really does it well. And the music, the songs that they make and everything are very good. Alright. We got quite a few more here, so I'm going to try and push it along. This one is going to be unpopular. It's Wanamure. On Mal, it has a 6.99 rating. So you're probably wondering why I even gave it a 10. And when I watched it initially, like, if I'm being honest, it wasn't anything amazing, right? But I felt like the idea of someone who, and actually, okay, while I was watching it, it made me kind of like physically cringe. It was weird and very awkward. That being said, having an anime that does something like this with a female protagonist who is, also suffers with like social anxiety and difficulty forming relationships. I just felt like there were, despite the fact that there were a lot of social scenarios that were like totally unrealistic, not unrealistic, but how do I say this? Very, very strange and I guess unrealistic is a good way to put it. I still felt like there was something relatable to people who have experienced similar things. So that's about it for it. It's really nothing special. And honestly, if you do watch it, you will probably like physically cringe. But I think there's value in what it's trying to convey. No game, no life. Nothing else needs to be said. I think I've already made a video about No Game, No Life, and really, I have nothing else to say about it. I mean, my favorite anime, I think, of all time, barring One Piece, of course, but they're kind of like 1A and 1B, and you can't decide which one is which. One of the first animes I watched during COVID, so like completely different atmosphere, different vibe, and the way that the overall concept of the anime is just something that's, at the time it was very sort of magical and appealing, and I still think it is. All right, here's I got a couple more things. Some of these are just like the season 1, season 2. So you got the Origaru. This is season 2. Love Live movie. Here's the next one. It's a Laid Back Camp or Yuru Camp. I watched this again. This was during COVID, and like the overall idea of this group of girls who go camping in the winter. I mean, you for anyone who is interested in any sort of like cozy or like slice of life anime, this is definitely up there in the Hall of Fame. And yeah, I mean, this was the inspiration for me to think about doing winter camping, but it's just for me getting all the equipment and then maybe doing it like 3 or 4 times a year. It's just, it didn't incentivize me at all. But, power to the people who have more time and who can do it. Next one, a place further than a universe, or I forgot what the other name is. Well, it's in Japanese, but Sorayori wa Toi Basho. So basically, yeah, a place further than the universe. A lot of these animes are just a bunch of group of girls doing fun things, and part of me wishes that when I was in high school I did something like that, but obviously I think high school is a lot different for everyone, so it's a lot different for everyone. It's very different for everyone. So whatever you choose to do with your life. So anyway, this anime is a bunch of group of girls who, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, they have different motives, but they all want to go to Antarctica, and they make the travel. They take like some sort of cruise, or maybe it's like a cargo ship or something, and it's just their journey getting there. And yeah, a slice of life and inspiring. Bunny Girl Senpai, again, a slice of life. I really, honestly, this is one where the protagonist, like the guy in Origairu, they're sort of similar but also different. I thought the idea of having these like the puberty syndrome and all these like supernatural events that go along with it was pretty interesting, and the way that they approached it was interesting. Now, I think at a certain point it kind of started feeling like it was all just like a harem, because and I wasn't really too into that, but yeah, I mean, very slice of life, supernatural, has a little bit of everything. That's the best way to put it, I think. Quintessential quintuplets. It's just low key. It's really just like it is high key a harem, and then low key just like a Gunner series, to be honest. Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, the plot itself, I guess, is okay, but yeah. Cyberpunk Edge Runners. Yeah, I watched the anime before I played the game, and I think that was definitely a good idea, because there are some things in the game that, well, how do I say it? I think the anime is referencing the game, but if you play the game, then you'll notice these references better. I've always loved the idea of like a dystopia or the futuristic sort of atmosphere, especially Night City. It's done so well, and especially in the anime, the overall aesthetic of it. If I'm remembering correctly, the animation was a little bit choppy, but I think they captured the overall idea of what it means to kind of grow up in Night City and how fast things can change, how fast your life can just alter on a different course, right? Like David, he was poor, and his mom was working to do stuff, but he was still going to a good school, albeit, you know, he was getting bullied and everything. And then all of a sudden his mom dies, and that just alters the course of what he wants to do. Like, he becomes involved in illegal activity, like robberies and everything, and doing all that stuff. And then he starts putting in chrome himself, and eventually he becomes this super mechanical person who is on the verge of cyberpsychosis and goes against Adam Smasher, and, well, you know what happens then. So, of course, you know, they have the scenes with the I really want to stay at your house, which are very powerful. This one, it's nothing, I mean, it's special, but it's just One Piece again. It's a One Piece fan letter. The episode is just really good. So it's like 30 minutes, 20 minutes. Just watch it. All right, last one here is Kaguya-sama, and it's specifically the ultra romantic season. I didn't put any of the other seasons. I believe this one is the 3rd season. Yes, I was right. So I really like the 1st and 2nd season. I mean, no issues there. I just felt like it wasn't my favorite. But then the ultra romantic is where things kind of push into 2nd gear, right? Where they're actually doing stuff. It's more involved. And then at the end, that's when they have the scene, I believe, because I read the manga, so I don't want to mix it up, but I believe at the end of the season, that's where they have the scene is it at the top of the tower or something like that, with all the balloons and everything. So yeah, I really just like it's a really good blend of comedy and romance, and I think that they captured the perfect balance between what it means to develop a plot between two characters, and as well as sort of have these reoccurring and very interesting gags throughout the series. All right, I got a few here, that I rated pretty highly, 9 as well, but and actually, never mind, it's quite a few. So maybe a few honorable mentions here. I mean, I'm already running at 22 minutes. I don't want to run too much, but let's take a look here. Cowboy Bebop, 5 centimeters per second. Those are 2 separate ones. Cowboy Bebop is like a whole series, and then 5 centimeters per second is kind of like a mini series. Both of them are pretty good. I think they're very different in respectively very different, but both of them I enjoyed for the aesthetic that they provided. Non Viore, very simple slice of life. It was a little bit sort of boring. There wasn't anything like that really drew me in, but I enjoyed the idea. I enjoyed the visual representation of the Japanese countryside lifestyle. Ace of Diamond, Diamond No Ace, baseball anime. I think the only baseball anime I've watched, and one of the best. I think it's very dramatic, and as someone who's played baseball, it fits. Yeah, I've got a few more here, but nothing else that I really feel like deserves to be up there. Here's another one, just to slip it in. The Aquatope on White Sand. I think it's pretty underrated. It's an anime that has good animation, has good art, and is a topic that really is kind of pretty niche. It's about managing aquariums and dealing with aquatic life, and I think that it's definitely deserves a little more attention than it actually received. Yeah, that's about it. For my top rated animes, and then some honorable mentions. Let me know if there's anything else what you think, or what your experiences are, and yeah, that'll be it for today. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.